kind of black thumbs in the garden, you can't kill a daylily.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
it's not, especially not this collection. Our
Exactly.
300 series flower-powered daylily. This just grows and grows. It doesn't matter what you throw at it, do to it. These daylilies, they thrive and they bloom. They are, they give you flowers. If you have planted daylilies in the past, you wait and wait and wait, and finally a flower pops up, and then you see nothing.
I know.
Nothing else the rest of the season.
Yep, I know.
Here we are going to get that continuous ever bloom.
Yeah, but even regardless, people still grow daylilies because they're so easy, and you know they're going to come back every year, but everyone grows the exact same ones. They bloom for about 3 weeks. They look a little bit like this, and you know, they're just kind of lackluster, kind of boring if you ask me. Just look at this and compare it to any one of these in this collection. You can see they don't hold a candle to any of these. Now, these daylilies that you're seeing right here are truly special. Let me just tell you how we got to this collection.
Sure.
Because it truly is the very best daylily collection we've ever had. Now, we went to our Dutch growers last year and we said, we want to make the best daylily collection. How do we do it? They said, there's over 30,000 varieties. Let's start chugging along. We said, oh, let's narrow it down a little bit. So they said, well, there's about, 10% of 30,000 is about 3,000, and 3,000 varieties are reblooming, which means they bloom a few flowers here and there for about 3 months. But some weeks you'll have a lot of flowers, some weeks you'll have none. We said that is not good enough. So they said, all right, well, 10% of those, or about 300 varieties, have a quality known as ever blooming, which means they have flowers on them all the time for 4 solid months, which is all of these flowers in this collection. And the reason and the way that we got to these particular varieties, 5 varieties, you're getting 2 of each, is we picked these for having the absolute most amazing color, as you've been seeing here in this little video. They have the best color, the largest flowers, and they have the most flowers, and they're all going to be blooming in about 8 weeks from the time that you plant them.
They grow fast.
Yeah.
They look good, and they're super hardy. You can't, like you said, you can count.
So easy.
You can count on them. They come back time after time. And this, the 300 series. What does that mean?
Well, so basically, by the 3rd year, from each one of your farm fresh bulbs, you can expect up to 300 flowers per plant. It's incredible.
300 flowers in a season. Remember, in the 4 months for one plant, to have 300 flowers pop off of it, that's a lot.
It's incredible.
But season 1, we're going to receive this, 10 pieces.
So you're going to be getting these, and these are farm fresh. They have never been treated with any growth inhibitors, no preservatives, like the daylilies that you buy at the grocery store. Well, they've been sitting...
They don't even look like this.
No, they've probably been sitting on the shelves for a couple years, you don't know.
They look all dried out and really sad and sorry.
And that's why they bloom only a few flowers for a few weeks. These are gonna bloom in about 8 weeks from the time that you plant them, and they're gonna bloom for 4 months, bringing you flowers the entire season.
And I do wanna remind you, you get 10 of these, and at $37.74, that means less than $4 per bulb. Oh, what do you call these?
These are just called tubers.
Tubers.
And the incredible thing is, from one collection, you can expect about a 20-foot long border or about 40 square feet of mass planting. And my personal favorite way to grow daylilies is you just plant a ton. I like to see 50, 100 of these tubers planted out in an area to truly transform a garden, because it produces all of these flowers just like this. You see how that is the way that you grow daylilies to their absolute best, because they grow so well and they just naturalize in your garden, and they're so reliable. That's why everyone grows them. Winter hardy, heat resistant. These have everything in a daylily you want, but then so much more, bringing you incredible colors like this orchid candy.
Now, the colors. Let's talk about the colors.
Yes.
Because we're getting this entire selection. We don't have to choose out of the dragon's eye.
You're getting
or the
2
candy.
of each of these colors, so you can have dragon's eyes in your garden.
And I love how it has the deeper center and then the lighter petal.
That's what I mean when we pick the 5 best varieties that, in our opinion, are the very best 5 varieties in the world. For having the best color, because they're ever blooming, blooming for 4 solid months, not just a couple weeks like the little, like those little Stella D'Oro daylilies that everyone buys. You'd think, everyone buys these and they bloom about 3 weeks and then maybe a few flowers here and then they die. But just look at that compared to any of these. You can tell they don't hold a candle.
But the beauty of the daylily, you can do nothing, and they still keep coming back.
I know, exactly. And these are so incredible. Those little yellow ones, you'd think they were like, a couple nickels, but they're expensive even as they are.
Well, I love that this is such a great value because you're getting 10 pieces for $37 and change. That's less than $4 per planting. And what would you say you have in each one of these pots? Is that the equivalent of 1 or 2?
I would say what you see here is a great representation of one collection in about 8 weeks from the time that you plant them.
Wow.
And then they're gonna bloom for 4 solid months after that. Bringing you colors like this. Have you ever seen daylilies that look like this?
And as big as they are. Like
I know.
You said,
they're like 7 inches across. All of these varieties are so just unique and gorgeous in terms of daylilies. In our opinion, these 5 varieties, you're getting 2 of each. They are the very best in the world.
These are head turners.
Yes.
These are ones where people driving down the street, they stop. And take a look. Maybe come knock on the door or leave you a little note in the mailbox. Where in the world, what type of flowers, where did you get your collection?
Most people would not even think these were daylilies because they're or they'll see, oh, those were blooming in June, but they're still blooming in, September, October.
So they can't be daylilies.
They can't be, but they are. The world's best, That's why I recommend plant 50, plant 100 of these tubers in your yard because it's a stress-free garden. You plant them and they're there. They're there to give you flowers year after year after year.
For 4 months.
The most incredible daylily flowers you've ever seen.
Daylilies are my friend, Devin.
They are.
I will tell you, as I mentioned, I do love a pretty garden, but I know sometimes you have to put in some work. The daylily is the least amount of work, but you get the biggest payoff.
Right.
And these are going to keep coming back for you as well. And with the 10 pieces, it's a great way to get started. If you're new to Roberta's, to even see how easy it is to grow a beautiful garden. But if you already know, I want to cover some ground, I want the big payoff, then you'll probably want to pick up more than one collection so that you can achieve this.
Right, just look at that. That is how you achieve the best garden. Plant just a whole bunch of them, and they're going to just naturalize in the garden. This Mildred Mitchell, you see it has this gorgeous deep burgundy and purples with that nice green throat. And the Schnickel Fritz, this is what we call Rick Domeyer behind the scenes. He's Schnickel Fritz. And it's just gorgeous orchid candy. There's no colors quite like this. And these are all about 5, 6, 7 inch wide flowers, not those puny little yellow daylilies that that are a few inches and just kind of weak and bloom 3 weeks. These are going to bloom 4 months.
And if you're blooming for 4 months, then I don't mind cutting some and creating a little bouquet. When it's only blooming 2 to 3 weeks, I'm like, I'll just leave it on the plant.
I know, because you don't
want to cut it off.
Yeah, right.
Here, I've got 4 months of blooms. I can spare a few.
Exactly, because a daylily, they're flowers for a day, but these varieties are so special because they're ever blooming. That's about 1% of all the daylilies in the entire world are ever blooming, and these are all ever blooming.
And that means, does your garden center sell that 1%, that special top tier of daylily? Roberta's does. They're bringing you the best of the best, top of the line, 300 series flower power daylily, and they're giving you a good collection, 10 tubers.
Farm fresh, they are ready to start flowering.
I said to you, I'm like, they're like fresh little
tubers. Yeah, exactly.
These aren't dried up, looking like they've been sitting on a shelf. Never been treated with any preservatives like the ones at your box stores.
They're going to be blooming in 8 weeks for 4 solid months. And by the 3rd year, you can expect up to 300 flowers per bulb.
That's a lot of flowers.
Yeah.
That's a lot of impact. But this is a big wow.
You know what it's not a lot of? Not a lot of work.
Sign me up. And when you look at the colors here, these are beautiful, pretty colors. Daylilies
custom-made
are tried and
colors.
true.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with the daylilies, but this collection in particular is so unique because of the size of these daylilies, the color, and they grow fast.
The sheer
You're gonna
flower
get
power.
That,
Yeah. You know?
and that's exactly what you're getting with this collection. That's why it's my pick of the show. I love a daylily. And
Me
this one
too.
from Roberta's, it's just super hardy, super easy, and you get this gorgeous, gorgeous payoff.
I know we don't have very many around.
It's not, it's very limited.